LoreWarrior Online. HTM-26T Hatamoto-Chi. Overview. When Comstar gifted the Combine with hundreds of SLDF battlemechs, the future coordinator of the Draconis Combine was not content with just a short-term influx of war materiel. He desired long-term advantages and capabilities. Several thugs accidentally left with Starleague technology by sloppy Comstar technicians were sent to Luthian Armor Works, where engineers were charged with reverse engineering the advanced technology as secretly as possible. Rather than convert an assembly line to produce an all-new chassis, the engineers adopted the thugs' weaponry to the otherwise shunned Charger, for which the Combine had a ready assembly line. Using the Charger chassis, prototype HTM-26Ts were sent for field testing just in time for the War of 3039. The lessons learned would be incorporated into the main production model, the HTM-27T, when the Al-Nair Endo Steel facility was rebuilt several years later. Capabilities. Despite the technological hurdles engineers faced, the resulting Hatamoto-Chi remained an impressive mech. Its pair of particle projection cannons was considered, at the time, among the best main armament possible for a mech of its size, and the 14.5 ton of armour was respectable. The downside to this protection and armament is the design's limited heat dissipation. Only 17 heatsinks cooled the mech down, leaving a Hatamoto-Chi running warm if it fired both of its main weapons while on the move. This was a result of the concessions needed to retain the Charger's conventional chassis instead of the Thug's original Endo Steel. The Hatamoto-Chi kept the Starleague Thug's full-sized SRM racks, supplied by a single ton of ammunition. Many pilots protested the limited ammunition, but designers claimed this was intentional, as it would force pilots to stay at range, reducing the chance of a destroyed Hatamoto-Chi prototype falling into Allied hands. Since many high-ranking officers and commanders who were supposed to stay out of intense fighting were assigned these prototypes initially, some accepted the reasoning, but others remained intransigent. Deployment. The HTM-26T only had a single limited run prior to the War of 3039, mainly prototypes distributed to the various regiments for extensive testing. Their appearance confused the Allied battle computers, which mistook them for Chargers. After the War of 3039 was over, groups of MechWarriors were brought in for feedback on the design's performance. During a heated exchange between the Hatamoto-Chi's pilots and LAW observers, the MechWarriors pointed out the numerous occasions the battlemech ran out of SRM ammunition in the middle of battle, while the observers dryly noted this also prevented the destruction of near a dozen machines, as after-action repairs showed that internal damage had penetrated not only the empty ammunition bay, but also the location where a secondary bay was intended to be placed by designers, had they the spare weight. The 27T model appeared early in the 3040s, ending the debate for good. The ability to mass-produce Endo Steel would also allow the design to finally increase the missile supply, though overheating would still be an issue since the Combine couldn't mass-produce double heatsinks for quite some time after the clan invasion had commenced. Variants. Luthian Armor Works took advantage of the roomy modular torso that came from the Charger chassis to create a plethora of variants. While some mounting autocannons were attempts at duplicating the designs the DCMS did not have access to, others, such as mounting LRM launchers instead of SRM racks or a single large laser, were made by LAW to produce a design that could be purchased in entirely self-contained units instead of worrying about supplies from subcontractors. This would contribute to the confusion of Allied troops, as their intelligence gatherers couldn't pin down the capabilities of the Hatamoto-Chi, or even if it was just a stylized Charger. Notable MechWarrior. MechWarrior Crystal Lutheran. A member of the 8th Donegal Guards, MechWarrior Crystal Lutheran was credited with the first destruction of a Hatamoto-Chi during the fighting on Alteis. She was also credited with the second and third kills over several days of fighting, but reportedly grew more and more frustrated as she believed she was merely destroying the same one over and over, only to find it appearing on the battlefield rebuilt with only superficial scarring in the next day or two. Entirely possible, given the ease with which the Charger and Hatamoto-Chi could be repaired. She would eventually be killed in action by that same Hatamoto-Chi via a PPC bolt to her Archer's cockpit after 7 days of constant fighting.